So how about this for a beautiful camping location? And that's looking out over there to the Isle of Rum. And over there to Blà Bheinn. That is quite a view for a night. That'll do nicely. So we'll catch up shortly as to how we ended up here.
Oh.
How is that for a view? Not bad to wake up to, eh? There's Storm. She's probably spotted the cows again. There are many grazing cows and sheep in this area. We thought we were going to have a bit of a standoff this morning with some cows munching grass around about the tent. And we ended up having to pop Storm into the car.
Yeah, just to be safe.
Just to be safe.
The cows were being fine,
but yeah,
cows and dogs don't mix.
They don't mix. We didn't want to end up with anything kicking off, as we say. What'd you say, Storm?
What are you doing?
So, well, how did we end up here? Gosh.
It's been quite a journey.
It's been quite a journey. So we set off on Sunday night, and with the intention of coming up to the Mulardoch 4. The weather was quite awful, and we were a bit unsure about whether it was safe to do because the winds were going to be quite high. I think that looking at the forecast today, this is Tuesday, looking at the forecast today, that was the right decision.
Yeah.
There is a weather warning in place, certainly for rain, and I think the winds are not any less strong, and they're getting worse throughout the day.
Yeah, the forecast on the summits was gusting to almost 50 miles an hour, and it's a ridge walk, and I just don't think we want to be up there battling 50 mile an hour winds on a ridge. It's just not the smart thing to do.
It's just not the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So that was plan one, and then yesterday morning we decided that we sort of looked at the forecast roundabout, and we kind of vaguely thought that we would do Ben Wyvis yesterday and then head up north to Ben Hope.
Ben Hope, yeah.
That eluded us last year because of the rain. And we set off on the journey. We started walking up Ben Wyvis.
And we were doing well.
We were all having a great time. It was really good. And then we had a sort of emergency crop up that we had to deal with.
Yeah, yeah.
So we were approaching, well, we're about the halfway point, I think, up the hill.
Yeah, almost.
And suddenly we just had to turn around and get back down off the hill. And then we had to come over to Skye to deal with that emergency.
Yeah.
And so here is where we ended up last night.
Finding ourselves on Skye.
Finding ourselves on Skye, and we thought, well, you know what, we might as well make the most of it. So we found this lovely camping spot with a beautiful view across to Blà Bheinn. And then today on Skye the weather is lovely. I don't know what the forecast is for tomorrow. I've not really looked at that yet, but tomorrow's going home day anyway. So we sort of find ourselves now thinking, shall we just do Blà Bheinn?
Yeah, we'll just climb Blà Bheinn. Just
because
we will attempt to climb Blà Bheinn.
I think there's bits that I might find a little bit too scary, but we're going to give it a go, if for nothing other than a little bit of reconnaissance to see what it looks like. And if it's all looking good, we'll go on up, and if it's proven to be a bit too scary, we'll have a look at it and think about it and work out what we need to do to get there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's the current plan. The weather is looking really good, as I say, and the winds are not looking too strong. So assuming it all falls into place, that's today's plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Perfect.
about the size of it. So we'll report back as we go, and you can see how we get on.
Well, here goes nothing. Up there.
Utterly terrifying, but we'll see what happens. Okay, stopping for a quick fill up of water. It's really quite warm. A little bit of wind. Not as much as we anticipated. But look at the colour of that water. It's absolutely crystal clear. Beautiful. So we're making sure we've got all of the water things filled. So we have come all the way from down there in the trees. I can't see, it's so bright. That's where the car park is. Bit of a pull to come up here, but decent path. A little bit wet around this bit, dog pulling. And over there, you can see that the path goes up there. I hope it goes down a bit. This is over the water. And then starts to head up. There's a few folk ahead of us today. We're just taking it nice and slow. Absolutely stunningly beautiful. Just look at that.
That water is crystal clear as well.
Yeah, that's
Have a
what
look
I'm saying.
at how clear that is.
The colour of it.
It's
amazing.
completely clear.
So it's just got three litres of water to see us up the hill. Make sure you've got plenty of water when you're climbing a hill to keep hydrated.
Yeah, there's usually not much water higher
further up, yeah.
And
so
on this
especially
mountain,
in the summer.
None.
Especially in the summer.
Yeah.
You know, in the winter months you might find. Oh, yeah. So onwards and upwards, eh?
Okay, so we're up a couple of 100 meters, about 360, 370. You see some people there in front of us right in the foreground, heading up to the Lochan up that way. And the summit is up over that gnarly thing. But if you look backwards, what an absolutely stunning view. Dog is enjoying it.
She's searching for dropped spoils.
Yes, searching for dropped treats from other walkers. So yeah, I guess we'll head onwards and upwards. Anyway, so here we are. We're at well,
Let's call it the halfway Lochan.
we'll call it the halfway Lochan. It's not really Lochan. The Lochan is up there, which is absolutely stunning. And it's behind us, behind the camera, that Blà Bheinn is. Up there is the Bheinn, between Blà Bheinn and the other summit. So that's Blà Bheinn up there. The path goes off to the side here and up there. So I think we're just going to have a wee rest. Well, I'm just going to have a wee rest. Fiona's a lot fitter than I am, so I'm having a wee rest and Fiona's waiting patiently. And then we're going to probably try to head up there. Oh, and here's Fiona.
Okay, well it's sort of it's looking quite steep. I've got my scared juices are starting to pour over. The bits of vertigo are starting to slip in, so just take it nice and slowly, a little bit at a time, and hopefully it'll be okay.
We've got our Garmin inReach if we get into trouble. Not that we want to use it at all. It's a perfect day when we don't use it, of course. Anyway, we best start preparing to get up there. So here we are. We're almost at the top, maybe another 200 meters of ascent. There it is, up there. Ton of people. This section we just passed, you come up a gully or on either side of the gully, it's up to you. But it's really hard. We came up on our hands and knees, more or less. But the dog, Storm, she did fantastic. She loved every minute of it. So anyway, I guess we better crack on and keep going. Right, darling?
Yep.
Check out that view. Check out that view. Dog's tired. We've just stopped here for a spot of lunch. There's Fiona. There's where we've still got to go. We are about a quarter mile from the summit, and yeah, we're both really hungry and tired, so we thought we'd stop for a break and have a bite to eat. So we've eaten now, and now we're cracking on. See a bit of rain in the distance there, but hopefully it's staying away from here. All right, catch you later. There we go. The Cooling Ridge, the Black Cooling's over there. We've made it to the summit of Blà Bheinn. Holy smokes, that was hard. That was really, really hard. So, we're at the summit. Holy smokes, that was the scariest thing you've ever done. She's speechless, it was so scary. Thankfully we had a lovely climber chap who actually told us about a much easier, better line. And when I say much easier, it still wasn't easy. But we better take our photographs and get moving, because over there is rain, and I think it's going to hit us at some point in the way down, but I'd like to be off of the rocks when it does. So see you later. Right, darling?
Yep.
That's us just down off the top. So we just came down right there, and pretty tricky, isn't it? But so far we've been quite lucky, because that weather that was coming in passed literally just to the south of us, like 50 meters to the south of us. There was a band of rain. We got our rain gear on, we got all ready to come down in the rain, and it just passed us. Now there is some coming in from the other side, but at least we're off the top now. Right, darling?
Yep.
Yep. Leave you with that. Okay, so we're down off the terrible, terrible rocky stuff up here. That was so far quite a tricky descent. It's just really hard on the knees. So now we've got to continue going down this way to the Gully of Death, which is where we came up, sort of. We climbed out about halfway up and went up the side, but we've got to go down that. You can't see it, it's just down there. If we're brave enough, we'll break the camera out again.
So there we go. We got off the mountain and we didn't die.
Well,
we're halfway off we're off the worst bit.
yeah.
The rest of it coming down is just a path, so it's quite easy. But look at it. I mean, look at it. That was really quite terrifying. And I am glad that I will not have to go back up there again.
Are you glad that you did it?
I will be. I will be. I'm not there yet, but I will be. I will be very pleased that we kept going and got to the top. And then we got down and we didn't die.
And we're no dead. Yet.
So yeah, now we've just got to go back down.
Back down here.
There
is quite a steep path down there, but it's a mountain path. It's not scrambly or too rocky. So we'll just go slow. As always, because we go slow even when we don't want to go slow.
We just don't really do fast.
No.
Well, I think we're reasonably speedy. We just stop enough for what? What do you hear?
I just heard a helicopter.
Oh gosh.
Maybe that young woman pressed her button.
I don't know.
All right.
Anywho, so yeah, see you back at the car. Looking at.
Good morning. It's about 7:30 in the morning. We obviously made it back down off of Blà Bheinn last night. It was about 7 o'clock when we got down last night, so quite late. We were very slow. So we got in the car and we came back, as you may have seen, to our favorite camp spot from the night before, which is a lovely spot. And yeah, we're just having our morning coffee before hitting the road and heading home.
But before we do that, we thought we'd share a few thoughts on the hill.
Yeah.
Or on walking in general, actually. I think it was tough yesterday.
Yeah, it was tough.
It was quite hard. Now we knew it was going to be quite hard because it's so steep and the up is just kind of relentless. But I think for me that is made so much worse by the fact that I suffer from a sort of vertigo, I suppose, where you know, if I look at a certain incline, I just struggle to do it, and that takes quite a lot of thinking about. So, you know, the best solution for that for me is to stop, think, process, look at it before I move on, and so that can really slow down progress quite a lot.
Yeah, and that's just it. We spent a lot of time yesterday stopping and thinking, shall we say.
Thinking about the next bit.
So Fiona could work her way over certain bits, and then right before the summit, there's a bit that's fairly exposed, not overly exposed, but fairly exposed, and that's where I struggle. So it's quite funny. Fiona skips along quite happily at that bit.
Yeah.
And I was.
I think that was the only bit where I actually felt quite happy.
Yeah, it's quite funny. So between the two of us, we can do mountains individually, not so much.
We each have our struggles.
But the mountain was very busy yesterday. Lots of hill walkers, all of them very, very nice. We spoke to many of them. We often like to chat to hill walkers. So you know, sometimes it was a case of chatting for even 5-10 minutes about this, that, and the next thing. And it was just it was just really nice. And there was one big boulder before you go up onto the summit that we couldn't really get over. I could sort of get up it, but even then it was very difficult. And then this mountaineering chap was coming along and he goes, "Oh, you shouldn't really be taking a dog up here. This is very difficult for the dog. If you just go down to that pillar box, a set of rocks that looks like a pillar box, if you cut through the crag there, it's a straight walk up to the summit." So, you know, sometimes you've got to sort of sniff about for better routes.
Now, I think it's worth adding in at this point, we read the Walk Highlands description, and it says about staying left and not taking the route on the right. And a couple of people we chatted to on the way down
said the same
thing. But I think that what makes that difficult is actually quite disorientating when you're at the top, because it's just this mass of rock, and there are a bunch of what look like routes going up, and it's not immediately obvious, because we saw one that was to the left of the one that we thought we had to avoid.
Yeah.
But when you checked it out, it was not going anywhere.
Pretty much a dead end. Yeah.
So we felt a bit confused. At that point, there was nobody else there or coming down for us to be able to see. So we'd gone over to this bit thinking it was the right thing, but the rock was so high off the ground that for me it was just too much there was nowhere really to get a good foothold from the position that I was in. So it was quite tricky.
So really the tip, if you're going to do Blà Bheinn, is when you get up, if you get to a point where you're at a gully and there's a big rock that you can't really get up onto, or not without severe climbing,
you're too far to the
you've
right.
gone too far. If you turn around and just look down the hill on your right as you look down, there's a stack of rocks that's been built like a cairn that isn't immediately obvious on the way up. That looks like a small pillar box, post box. If you cut through there, there's two different ways, but this is the one that's further down the hill. If you cut through there, it's a straight shot, follow the path up to the summit.
Yeah.
So
a little scrambly section.
Yeah.
Well, scrambly for me.
I've got to check to see if we have a photo of that area. I think
we took one on the way down, but yeah, we'll see if we
yeah,
can
I think I took a photo on the
identify
way down, and if we can, we'll identify it, you know, with a little
put that
mark
in.
or something next, just so people know.
But I think the other thing is that, you know, we both kind of said that, you know, this time last year, there's no way that we would have done that. We couldn't have done that. And, you know, we have done things that have been challenging, and we've tried to push ourselves and keep doing that. But that was like, that would not have happened. You know, when we hit that rock that I couldn't get up over, for me, that was pretty much it. I was ready to stop then. Although I was so close to the summit, I was ready to just say, no, I've had enough. But I think one of the things that actually sort of has helped us to get to this point is finding good footwear.
Yes.
I think that's a really important thing. You know, so last year I had a lot of issue trying to explore different boots. Like I used to have the Berghaus Super Lights, and I absolutely loved those for walking in for all of our long distance hikes. But the problem with those was that the grip, once they started to wear down, was terrible, and I'd be sliding all over the place. And I would go through them so quickly. Like, you know, if we'd been doing a lot of hikes, you know, they'd be done within sort of 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
And
going through
you
pairs
just can't sustain. Well, at least that was me trying to eke them out. And you can't keep buying boots that often because they're not that cheap. And so I think last year I'd been kind of recommended Scarpas and sort of fitted for those, and I tried on lots and lots of different boots, but I have problems with my knees, and I just couldn't get on with them at all. But what I think helped with those is that the grip was better. It gave me a little bit more confidence in going over the rocky stuff because I had none. And then I'm not even sure how we came about, just sort of hours of research on the internet.
Yeah.
We found the La Sportivas, and that's the TX5s that we wear. And you know, they've been an absolute game changer. They're so good. They're great on the long hikes, and they're great up on the hills as well. They're so grippy, and that helps enormously with working out foot placement and just trusting in your boots. And they're really, really light as well, so you don't have that fatigue when you're going uphill. I suffered a lot from that with the Scarpas. They were so heavy, and I'd be exhausted before I was even halfway up. Because it was hard to lift my feet. So I think you know, a few things that have kind of helped us to be able to get to the point of attempting something like that.
Yeah. But yeah, so there you go. Boots, very important. And just because you've got a good pair of expensive boots doesn't mean they're the right boots. Trust me, we've got
We've been
a
through a
few
lot.
pairs of good expensive boots at home that we don't wear very often anymore.
Yeah.
So, well, on that note, we should have our coffee and
get packed up and
packed
head
up
home.
and hit the road.
Yep.
Bye.
So, see you on the next one.
Oh, good, it's still recording. I started.